Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. We are here today with Terry Benchetreat, who is the
Yes,
Director of Sales for Deceptive Bytes. And we're also joined by Hen LeMay, who is the co-founder of Deceptive Bytes. Welcome, guys.
Hi,
hi Scott,
Scott.
how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Sure thing.
I am super excited to learn all about Deceptive Bytes and how it can help MSPs with, their cybersecurity posture and strengthening their posture for their clients as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now you guys are based outside of Tel Aviv, Israel, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. So what time is it over there?
Well, it's about a little after 6 p.m.
Okay.
So there's about a 7 hour time difference with the East Coast and about 10 hours with the West Coast. That's
I
what we're
gotcha.
talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's about a little after 11 o'clock in the morning here. So all right, very cool, very cool. Well, Terry, let's start with you. As a
Sure.
director of sales, how did you get involved in cybersecurity?
Well, I've been I'm gonna be aging myself. I've been in IT software sales for about 30 years now.
Okay.
And about 25 years ago or so, I got into data cleansing, data augmentation, which eventually led to data validation. Worked with some fairly large organizations like American Express in regards to fraud prevention.
Okay.
Eventually, that led to getting into the endpoint industry, which I've spent the last 20 years
Oh wow.
basically building channel, building MSPs, resellers for companies such as ESET, Avast, Avira, Panda, and probably more recently Bitdefender.
Okay.
Uh,
I know
and
all those brands.
yes, yeah, and about in 2019, I actually moved to Israel because I was doing this for North America. I moved
Okay.
to Israel to try to find the latest, greatest security product because frankly with what's going on out there there's really nothing stopping the knuckleheads out there from doing bad things, so here we are.
There you go. So you mentioned something just a minute ago, and I'm not sure what it is. I want to clarify and get you to tell me did you say data cleansing?
That's correct, yes.
So what is data cleansing?
Well, data cleansing is a situation where you have, let's say, a database with records that are inconsistent, where you may have information that is outdated. And basically, what you do is you take that data, you bounce it off of several clean databases, and what you do is you basically create a clean record with the
Okay.
most current name and address information. Of course, now you're dealing with privacy issues, but that's a whole other discussion. But that's the idea basically in data cleansing is taking old data or inconsistent data and really trying to build the best possible record.
Ah, okay, okay. And you did that for American Express?
I did this, no, I did this for, yeah, I did this for about 4 or 5 years, a company that was called at the time First Logic.
Okay.
Subsequently, we were purchased by SAP. And
Gotcha.
basically that's when I decided to get into the endpoint side of things.
Awesome. And today you're working for Deceptive Bytes. That's great.
Correct,
So,
yes.
Hen, I'll jump over to you. You are the co-founder of Deceptive Bytes. What can you tell us about your start and how you got into cybersecurity as well? What brings you here
Wow,
today?
wow, that's an interesting story. First of all, it started over 10 years ago.
Okay.
I founded the company with my brothers, and we decided that we want to build something. Back then, we didn't know what, but we had the idea to build a company together. And when the idea of Deceptive Bytes came along, we decided to build not just the company, but the solution itself. Avi is our CTO, is the brains behind the solution. He came up with the idea after working for Checkpoint in the endpoint division, for Variant in the cyber division, And after that, Deceptive Bytes and the solution itself. And here we are today, after a few years. And my background is I've served in the military as a programmer. So I have an extensive background in military and defense solutions. And this brought me into the cybersecurity rather easily when we founded the company.
Awesome. So Deceptive Bytes is truly a family business.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You know, you've got employees that you can count on.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Well,
Yeah.
and so your excuse me, your background with military cyber defense, I'm sure that plays a big role in, you know, what Deceptive Bytes is today. So, well, I am eager to learn all about Deceptive Bytes. Do you want to get started with like a demo or something, or what do you want to tell everyone about Deceptive Bytes so far?
Well, I think I think what we wanted to talk about was first really talk about what the issues are and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
things have
totally.
evolved, and then probably get into a demo and what brought all of this together.
Okay.
Scott, as you know, malware has been around for a very long time.
Okay.
And it's significantly evolved over the years. Initially, people did it for notoriety purposes, to get some attention. Eventually, it got to the point where it is today. I don't know if we want to get into every particular stage of it, but today, the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges, is ransomware. Traditional malware, or should I say traditional challenges, has been, basically from a preventative perspective.
Okay.
Where you've got companies like Avast, Avira, and I can go on. They have actually armies of programmers that spend all their time developing their technology to prevent. When I was over at Avast, at the time, we actually had about 900 programmers just for the product itself, which is pretty, if you think about it, that's really significant. And if you look at the top 10 guys today, that's pretty much, I mean, you need armies of people to do things from a preventative perspective. The challenge is really the following. I mean, if you look at, and it's unfortunately the little guys that get hit the most, but if you look at the amount of malware that hits the market every day, I'm not making this up. You can Google it. You can go to, antivirus totals. You can look at a lot of different statistics. You're looking at about 500,000 new pieces of malware that are introduced into the market on a daily basis, which is enormous. It's crazy. There's good news and there's bad news. The good news is your top tier endpoint protection providers out there will catch about 99% of this stuff. But if you do the math, 99% of 500,000, still there's about 5,000 a day that actually nobody is catching. That's the problem. It's not what you're able to find, it's the stuff that gets through. That's the challenge that everybody is dealing with. And I'm saying it's the little guys that get hit that get hit the most, simply because a lot of the knuckleheads have figured out that if you go after a Fortune 500 company, these guys have armies of IT people that are just scrutinizing everything that's coming in, and it just makes their life more difficult. If you're looking at an MSP with smaller clients, a lot of these folks, I mean, they do their best to be able to take care of their clients, but security is just one small fraction of the things that they have to worry about, let alone try to keep track of everything that is happening. And this is what brought us to today, and about Deceptive Bytes, because the reality is what Deceptive Bytes, in my opinion, does something that nobody else really does, and I'll share this with you, and then I think Hen can really get into it. Basically, what Deceptive Bytes is an additional layer of security. How? Well, here's the thing. In the event that some malware actually gets through, what ends up happening is it finds itself in an environment that is completely foreign to anything that they expected, and then really don't know what to do. So I'll give you an example. Imagine somebody that's looking to break into a bank. Okay. What they first do is they'll scan out, do some recon work. They'll go into the bank, see where the cameras are, see how many security guards, where the safe is located, do a floor plan of the bank, of the vault, figure out what the brand of the vault is so that they can break into it, and so forth. And then imagine them coming back that night. Then instead of finding, 3 security guards outside, they find 20. And then once they get through that, they go inside the bank. Instead of 3 cameras in one area, now they find 15 in a different area. They find themselves in a very different floor plan. And then where there was supposed to be a vault, there are some barber chairs because now they're in a barber shop. This is what Deceptive Bytes does. It basically provides an environment that is completely foreign to whatever malware actually gets through.
Unexpected.
And out today, again, everybody's doing preventative, but there's still stuff that gets through. And for the stuff that gets through, they're basically dumbfounded.
So that's how the name Deceptive Bytes, because it's deceptive.
That's right. So that's why I ended up joining forces with them.
Awesome. So would you say that's more on the lines of security through obscurity?
Yes. Well, we call it security through deception. But again, it's like, in my opinion, it's really not designed to replace the endpoint protection that people have in place. You could potentially, but that's really not what it's for. What it's for is really as a last line of defense. It's really to baffle whatever actually potentially gets through.
An additional layer, one thing I can tell you that holds true, not just with Deceptive Bytes or any customer, the best security is layered approach. It's not just having one solution. So multiple layers is key. So no, I love it. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Hen?
Yeah, so and you're right, Scott. This is why we always recommend customers to have a layered approach. It's not just Deceptive Bytes. And perhaps I'll show you what Terry meant in a quick video. Let me share the screen.
Yeah.
We'll go and see. Please let me know when you see the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, great. So what we're demonstrating right now is Deceptive Bytes versus the Early Bird Special. And we show the Early Bird Special is something that we dubbed a few years ago as a way for threat actors to bypass EDRs and AVs. In this case, it's a Defender for Endpoint, which is Microsoft's EDR. But this is just an example. We show that we are connected to their platform, and we executed the file. As you can see, I'll pause it for a moment, and you see the Explorer process ID is 4920, and this is the same what the Early Bird Special got, and all the relevant information about that process. And we take a look at Microsoft's platform, and we see there's no alert given for that file. Basically, if it was loaded with a malicious payload, it could have bypassed the EDR and potentially do harm on that device. And what we did right now is to copy the same files to a Deceptive Bytes protected environment. And now we are going to execute the same file.
Kind of like a sandbox.
Yeah. And as you can see, the real process ID for Explorer is 4352. But the process ID it got is 5572, meaning it rendered the attack completely useless in less than a second. Meaning if it was with a malicious payload, it wouldn't have succeeded in attacking the machine. I also want to note that no memory, no CPU were taken in order to do this prevention, and we notify, of course, the user, and we show the information to the operator on our platform. Just a quick load, and we open the prevention notification, and we show you what we prevented in just a second.
So just to be clear,
the
Early Bird Special would be like an attachment that someone downloaded or whatever,
Yeah,
that they a file maybe on a thumb drive they think is safe, and
exactly.
this is a demo of how Deceptive Bytes comes in basically and identifies that it is a problem and a threat.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say someone brought it in with a USB thumb drive and loaded it on the device. Then we have stopped it in a second, gave you the information about what we stopped, give you a recommendation of what to do with it, and the reason we prevented that attack. So here at the bottom left, and of course, additional information. So you'll have further information for your investigation if you'd like. And without further ado, let me show you the platform itself. So here is the relevant information about the environment. So you'll see number of devices you have and how many are protected and up to date, the groups that you manage, and the number of preventions, the device status and overall health, statistics about the preventions that the system made, and you can change views and drill down. Everything here is clickable, so you can get further information once you click on it. At the bottom left here, you can see the recent preventions, and it's a test environment, so we have a lot of information to show. In a new environment, fresh environment, once I went to the devices page, it would be empty, so I can import information from Active Directory or uploading a file. Once I have these devices listed, I can select them and click actions and install the agent and perform other tasks, like even disconnecting from the network or restarting the device in just a click of a button. So it makes the life of the operator very easy. He gets all the relevant information here, even the status of the device, even the recent preventions, information about the device, like the host IP address, operating system. We even give you an overall status of your security here on the right, and of course, other options as well, and other tools. If you click on a specific device, you get further information on that specific device and statistics, so you'll know what's happening on that device. It gives you the visibility that you need, of course. In addition to that, you can also view live forensics and much more. Of course, every device belongs to a group, and every group represents a different policy. So if I go to the policy page, I can select the group that I want and the operating system that I want to manage, and I can set up the policy for that specific group. I can decide how to auto-approve signed files, whether to upload prevention to the server for further investigation, what kind of operational mode the solution will operate with, what kind of remediation to perform, remove the threat, quarantine it, or do nothing. Of course, this is a precautionary. You can even disable the UI for the users. It's relevant for our MSSP partners as well. Let's say you want to enable additional capabilities that we provide. So you can enable the anti-malware, network protection, and device control engines. And this will allow you to control Windows Defender and Windows Firewall as part of working with the platform. So once you've done approving or blocking applications according to the policy of that specific group, you can enable also rules for your firewall and rules, of course, and get notifications to the platform. Can block, IPs, ports, and so on. And then you can enable Windows Defender if you don't have an additional AV or a more advanced AV. So you can enable and set up basic settings, real-time protection settings, exclusions, scan settings, everything through the platform. And of course, you can get notifications to the platform from Defender. And in addition to that, in Windows, you can have the device control, so you can block those USB thumb drives that people are bringing in, and you don't know what they have on it. So you can block them either other devices that you have, disk drives, hard disk controllers, and so on. And you can even block them retroactively here in the advanced installation restrictions. Very easy. and it gives you the ability to increase the security posture through the platform. Of course, once you set up the policy, you want to configure the server as well. So you have all the general configuration and proxy, email configuration. So let's say you want to get notifications on various events, set up the email server, and you can get even notifications when someone's trying to disable the agent or uninstall it and so on.
Hey,
And
can I
here,
jump in just real quick?
sure.
Do you mind? I just want to share a couple of things. First of all, Scott, this is a very powerful platform, but
I
at the
see
same
that.
time, yeah, but at the same time, just so you know, installation is just a question of minutes. Very,
Okay.
very easy, very simple. That's the first thing. Second thing is this is multi-tenancy. So for an MSP, this is really very easy for them to be able to get signed to. They don't have to sign up all their clients. They can support multiple clients independently if they want to. Number three, this is fully compatible with whatever security applications they're currently using. So
Okay.
it's not where you have to do a rip and replace or anything like that.
So it works with a current antivirus. So
correct.
if
Yes.
if
Yeah.
if an MSP is already using a dedicated antivirus platform that they like and love, they can still add this because it's an additional layer. It works in conjunction with their antivirus. So it's not
Correct.
really.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call this an antivirus then, because it wouldn't
It's
like.
it, it's not. It's not
Yeah.
antivirus, and it's not sandboxing either. And I just wanted to clarify that
Okay.
because I think it may have appeared like there was something that looked like sandboxing, but that's really not what it does.
Okay.
It does, however, work with the how would I say behavior of potential malware at various stages within the process of being identified. So sandboxing could be one of them. Heuristics, depending on what endpoint protection you're using, could be another. And then, obviously signature and what have you. But I just wanted to, clarify. And, you'll have to excuse us. We really weren't sure to what level of detail we wanted to get into at this level here. But, Scott, you tell us, what do you think the audience would be interested in what level of detail I mean, is this appropriate? Are we going too deep?
No, I don't think you're going too deep at all. In fact, I want to learn more. I'm very intrigued. I really like the platform. And, one thing I got to tell you too, I didn't want to interrupt you, Hen, when you were going through this and showing this
I'm going
visually.
pretty fast, I know.
But no, you're great. You're great. What I really like, one of the things I like, I am a visual person. I like just show me a bunch of text and I'm like, yeah,
It's
it doesn't
boring.
mean a whole lot. It's boring.
Yeah.
But then if I can
Yeah.
visually see, like if I know a graph is supposed to have all green, but then it's 3/4 red, I mean, instantly I know in my mind that's a problem looking at that dashboard. So I want to compliment the platform itself on being a beautiful platform. It's very
Thank you.
easy on the eyes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I was about to address the things that Terry mentioned, but of course I'm going to continue with the demo and show that in regards to the deployment, here we have information for if you want to use third-party solutions to deploy. For our MSSP partners, it could be their RMM tools that they're using. So they just need to download the agent from here, copy the command line, paste it, and they're ready to go. And then if they want to use our platform in order to, in a sense, remote control the devices, disconnect from the network, send messages, and so on, they can do it from here and set up the protocol that they like to use. And it's ready to go once they've tested everything. And of course, a true security platform cannot be working by itself. So we have plenty of integrations. So you can forward events to the relevant platform, the other platforms that you use. You can start off by connecting to Active Directory. If you're in an Active Directory environment, you can use cloud storage integrations in order to back up things from the platform, and threat intelligence services to fetch information to the platform so you get better visibility on what we're catching, and you can see it from other sources as well. The easiest part is this: you just copy the API key here, click save, and you're connected to that threat intelligence service. It's that easy. And you can also integrate with the sandbox environments and get the prevention files, the files that we prevented, to the sandbox to further investigate for if your team, of course, we save the time to do that, but if they want to further investigate, they can do that. They can forward events to their SIEM, to their log servers, Azure Sentinel, ArcSight, QRadar, and the list goes on. Of course, if they set up the email server, they can forward events via email and get it even, on their mobile or their favorite collaborative tools like Slack, Teams, and so on. And of course, if they prefer to open a ticket for every prevention that was made, you can do that as well. You can use Microsoft To Do, Google Tasks, ServiceNow, and others. And of course, if they have something that you want to forward it and it's not listed, they can do it via HTTP. Of course, we are adding constant integrations to the platform, and of course, they'll be able to use others in the future as well. In terms of the security of the platform, this is also a very important part of being a security platform. The platform itself needs to be secure, and this is what we are providing as part of it. Either using Active Directory single sign-on as part of their signing on to the platform, or locally managed users. Each user has its own permissions. Let's say our MSSP partners want to provide the access to that specific tenant to their customers. They can generate a read-only user for that specific tenant, so the customer can see what's going on in his environment without even knowing there are others are hosted on the same server, which the MSP serves. Of course, two-factor authentication, very important, CAPTCHA to safeguard the server from access, and also access control, IPs, hosts, whatever the MSP prefers. And there are other capabilities behind the scene that protect the server as well. But I think the most important part in our solution is the prevention list. And here you can see what we prevented, when it happened, where, the severity of the event, which engine prevented the attack, the payload, the file that we detected and prevented from executing, the hash of the file. And the difference is when you click on the payload, you get further information about the prevention. If you click on the hash, you get all the places that we detected and prevented the same file. Let me quickly show you, and this is something I really like to show to our when I do demos. It's called VMDE. VMDE is an open source tool that shows how threat actors try and look for different security environments in order to bypass them as part of the attack. I'll open up two versions, the 64-bit version and the 32-bit version. The only difference is it's the same base code. As a programmer, I know. It was compiled to different architectures. So we are now using usually Windows 64-bit version, but if for all the systems, it could be 32-bit versions. And as you can see, once we detected and prevented the attack, we give you the basic information, which engine, where it happened, when, which engine, and so on. In this case, we don't give any recommendation because it's already blocked by its hash. We give you the indicators of compromise, and this is the most important part. In this case, it was looking for sandboxing. In the demo I showed in the video, it performed anti-analysis, trying to evade security tools, and it could be either of the hundreds and thousands of evasion techniques that the malware might use. And you also can see where it initiated from SVC host to Python script here to the file itself. And of course, I want to show you the 32-bit version.
And
Yeah.
Are you going to show the?
Yeah. Just a moment, Terry. I
Okay,
know.
sure.
Don't worry. I've done it like a million
All
times.
right.
And here you can see the 32-bit version. The engine that was the same engine, same action, same classification, slightly different hashes since it's eventually a different file after it was compiled. We give you a recommendation to block it by its hash. Same indicators of compromise. In this case, also the same script ran this file. If I fetch information from virus total, as you can see, in this case, 25 out of 72 vendors detected as malicious. As you
Okay.
can see,
And if I may, Scott,
Yeah.
we've looked at a lot of things.
Yeah.
If there's only one thing that your audience remembers from this demo, it's exactly this part, and I will explain.
Okay.
Really, what you see here, there was a piece of malware that was stopped. The data that you see here in front of you, the threat intel, is from a third party. We're not making this up. This is from Antivirus Total.
Right.
And what you see here is a list of first the security solutions that actually was able to identify it, and then at the bottom is you see all the ones that did not identify this as malware. Of course, Deceptive Bytes was able to stop it, but here you're actually seeing, who missed it. And this, to me, is proof that this works.
Yeah.
If you follow me. And again, this is all, we're not making this up. This information, this data is updated about once an hour. So, any of the MSPs, if there's something that was going on, they can actually see, who's actually catching it and who is not. And obviously we were able to catch it.
And
but
some
again, if
big names that are not catching it.
To actually go through the whole platform is going to take a lot more time than I think we're able to spend here. But and this is probably something we're happy to schedule and to get into greater detail.
Well, one thing that I'd like to say is there are some major brands and companies that we're all familiar with that are not catching.
And again, the point here is really not
a bit of an issue. Great.
I'm not sure what happened with back. I think I lost for a second. My apologies. My internet is not too stable today. But anyways, we'll continue. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. So as you can see, 25 out of 72 vendors detected as malicious, but as you can see, 47 didn't detect it. So names like Bitdefender, CrowdStrike, Cybereason, Fortinet, and others. And the interesting part of it is that if we go to the 64-bit version, is that if I take a look at virus total, is that only 11 out of 68 vendors detected as malicious. So there is even a difference between the 32-bit version and the 64-bit version for those who detect it as well. So it shows that we don't care about which architecture it was meant to be used, which it was built for. We don't care about the signature. We don't care about trying to understand any pattern. We care about these indicators that notify us this is potentially malicious, and we'll block it before any damage is done. So this gives us the power.
Yeah, and Scott, I don't know if you caught this, what I started to say, but here the point of all of this, we don't want people to have the impression that we're bad mouthing any of these vendors. These are all excellent solutions, and they all do a phenomenal job. But the point that we're trying to make is our job here is really to complement, to augment the capabilities of these different solutions so that this malware doesn't get through. That's really the point of all of this.
Absolutely. And these are some, like we said, these are some very well-respected brands in the industry, solutions that aren't catching it. Nothing is foolproof. And I think that just solidifies the fact that the best security is a layered approach. So Deceptive Bytes is that extra layer that I think we all need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So what I want to go next is that is the multi-tenancy. It's the most important aspect for our MSSP or multinationals that are using the platform, is the ability to manage multiple sites or multiple customers in a single pane of glass. So here they can see all of their customers listed and their status, from the devices to their the status of the devices, their quota, so they can see how many available licenses they have available, even the recent preventions in their environment, and other information. They can set up policy from here. So as you can see, you can approve or block applications here if we listed them here, and you can push policy. So here you can do that, or get it to command line, renew license, and perform other tasks. Of course, you can get statistics and recent preventions listed here. If you want to get further details and statistics about all of your customers, you can get them here. So you can see what's going on, which is the most used device or tenant, and so on. In terms of devices, they can see how it's drilled down between different OSs, architectures.
It's because you really, well, we'll talk about that. Anyway.
I'm back.
I think all the issues that could have occurred are occurring today just for us, Scott.
I think so. I think so. I'm going to have some editing to do, but that's okay.
No worries. We will forgive you.
So
yeah. So after the search, we have the app control. In the app control, of course, we can allow or block applications to all of our tenants in our environment. This helps us set up a policy for all of them in a single place instead of going one by one. Of course, this helps the MSP partners or the multinational. This saves them a lot of time and burden in managing everyone and setting up the policy. And of course, same goes with the firewall rules if it's enabled in their environment. And that's basically it. Of course, the platform has a lot of more capabilities, and we'd be happy to show them to anyone who is interested. So feel free to contact us after this live stream, and we'd be happy to have a session, let's say a private session with you guys, and tell you more. You're editing it, so what you can do is, once I have it.
Awesome.
No. Yeah, let's do this. Wait, sorry. Yeah. Now it stopped working. Yeah. And
there we go.
Yeah, just a moment. View slideshow. And let's see. And we switch to here. So you can contact us via email or to contact us on our website. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you guys for your time. It's been a real pleasure and an eye-opener. You know, like I said, you know, probably the biggest thing that I get from all this is that, you know, your current solutions that you think are doing a good job of protecting you, they're not catching everything. I mean, and that's where Deceptive Bytes really comes in. It's that extra layer of security that we all need. So, guys, thanks so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll do this again next time.
You too. Be well.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.